everyone, it's Kara Dixon, and today I'm joined with Nancy Guy. Now, Nancy, can you tell me what you're running for?
I am running for the House of Delegates in the 83rd House District, which is Northwest Virginia Beach, and one precinct, East Ocean View in Norfolk. Here and do your research and stuff. Who am I? Well, I grew up in the 83rd in a Navy family and went all through the public schools. I'm a graduate of the College of William & Mary and a graduate of the University of Virginia School of Law. I'm a mom and a grandmother. I brought up my children here. I've worked in a number of different industries, including law, of course, education and healthcare, sort of tangentially. I am somebody who's passionate about public education and has worked to improve it pretty much my entire adult life, from being a PTA president to being elected twice to Virginia Beach's school board. My goal is to identify all 64 of my four-time great-grandparents, which includes women as well as men. Public education was the issue that really drove me into this race. You know, since the Great Recession, Virginia has been starving its public schools. They slashed the funding to public schools 10 years ago in the wake of the Great Recession because revenues were down, and they really have never improved it. First book I've done, and it's about my grandmother's family, my paternal grandmother's family. This is my grandmother right here, who was orphaned at the age of 10. The book's called Our French Connection because my grandmother's family was French Canadian. They actually didn't immigrate. They were my oldest line, one of my oldest lines to come to the continent of North America. They immigrated to Nebraska, and they lived in a sod house out on the prairie, very much like Laura Ingalls Wilder's. Public education is certainly my passion. I think probably the single most issue facing everybody right now, though, is the existential crisis of climate change. We live in the second most imperiled region in the country, behind New Orleans, from sea level rise, which is one manifestation of climate change, and we as a Commonwealth have not been willing to take steps to address this problem. There are certain things that we can do right away. We can pass the ERA to finally have it ratified after 38 years. We can have some common sense gun reform laws, get out of committee and pass common sense things like universal background checks and red flag laws that the vast majority of Virginians want. We can take those initial steps, I think, towards addressing climate change, and we can change our funding priorities to properly fund our public schools. We can also do some things to help working families, like make sure we protect affordable health care and increase the minimum wage. Even, you know, we're one of 16 states that still are at the $7.25 minimum wage base. West Virginia is at $9.50, Maryland's at $11. I think we can do a little bit better. It was a Republican who actually said one time in a speech I heard, John Warner, a senator from Virginia, who said that politics should not be a spectator sport. So I think it behooves every Virginian to become politically involved, or at least become politically aware, and make sure that they understand that these elections, in this fourth year of our election cycle, you know, we elect the president the first year, we elect the governors and the other statewide offices in the second year, we elect Congress in the third year, we elect our state legislators in the fourth year, and this is the cycle where people are most apathetic, least aware of what's going on, and yet it's very, very important. And I think from a political standpoint, just keep yourself informed and participate and get out and vote, because these elections do all matter. I like to think that, you know, when we're gone, that our stories are going to matter to the people who came after us. I think that's one reason I'm so passionate about getting it right politically, because I feel really strongly that in today's world we are failing the generations behind us. You know, we're failing them on addressing their education, their access to health care, the climate change, gun safety, so many issues where I feel like we can do better, and I want them to look back on us fondly and remember us, and like I look back on my grandmother fondly and remember her.
What is your favorite home cooked meal?
Fried chicken. My mother made the best fried chicken in the world, and we had it once a week. And I know it's not good for me, but if I had a last meal, that would be it.
And when you were growing up, what did you think you would grow up to be?
Well, I was always interested in politics, and because I liked to argue and I was good on my feet, I was always told to become a lawyer. So I kind of became what I thought I would be. The truth is, I didn't like practicing law as much as I liked studying law, because I'm not by nature adversarial. I like to work collaboratively with people to build solutions. And so I think actually going into public service is where I'm meant to be.
If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be and why?
This is such a hard question. I've always been fascinated with Thomas Jefferson as a Virginian. I went to the College of William & Mary where he went. I went to law school at the University of Virginia, which he built. But he's such a flawed character in history. He articulated such important Enlightenment ideals like the equality of all people. And yet he lived this life as a slaveholder that was in direct, conflict with that. So I'd really like to meet him and talk to him and understand his thinking on that. And I'd also like to know the nature of his relationship with Sally Hemings. Was it a love match that could never come to the light of day, or was it an exploitive experience? I'd like to understand those things.
Yeah, that's really cool. You're really passionate about it.
I am really passionate about it, and I love doing it.
So, well, thank you so much. I had fun running through the aisles with you.